Hey everybody, it is early in the morning. It's 2 in the morning. It is November, I believe, yes, November the 8th, 2020. And I thought I'd do a video real quick about a topic that a lot of us can relate to. And yesterday was a bit of a hell of a day for me, I will have to admit, because I did something that I haven't done for quite a while, and that is I decided to go ahead and quit a job. Now, what is this job? What was this job exactly? Well, this was a job that I was working for the past couple months, in which I was a cook at an independent senior living apartment complex. I'm not going to say what it is, but I'm going to go ahead and give the details. Now, this was a place where we were serving only very few residents, in which we have to go ahead and, as cooks, serve them their food for all their three meals: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I was working with two other guys, one of them who recently was about to become the executive chef of the kitchen. And I decided to quit that job. Okay. The reason why I decided to quit that job wasn't necessarily because of the people I was cooking for, because the older men, the older people that I was cooking for, they appreciated my cooking, but the other people that I worked for said that I couldn't cook at all. Mainly, this one particular individual, who I'm not going to say his name, or protect the name of the innocent, even though I don't think he's that much of an innocent person to begin with. But they said that I could not cook at all. Although the people who I cooked for appreciated my cooking and they didn't have any complaints about it, and they said that to my face, although they say, well, they're just too polite to tell you your cooking isn't good, they said I couldn't cook. Now, the reason why is because my skills as far as cooking are unrefined. I've been in the culinary industry for only 2.5 years. I worked as a kitchen lead at this one homeless shelter for 3 months. I also worked as a prep cook and a dishwasher at a country club for a couple months, even though I was fired for making an inappropriate statement. I worked as a dishwasher at a restaurant called the Yard House for, I would say, 9 months. And I've been working at Red Lobster as a line cook for a year and a half. Now, of course, my skills as a cook are premature, and I have a lot of learning to do. And when I was working at this place, you have to go ahead and make everything from scratch. You have to go ahead and, for lunch, you have to go ahead and come up with something as far as a protein is concerned, a starch, vegetables, and a soup of the day. And I realized at that point, you know what? I'm just not ready for it. My skills as a cook are not refined enough, and my knowledge of cooking isn't refined enough in order to work somewhere. But at the same time, there were some issues going on between myself and the people that I was working for, mainly this other particular individual. And up until recently, everything seemed to be going okay. They were giving me a chance to go ahead and see how my cooking skills are. But then towards the end, they said, you don't listen. You don't do things right. You always make mistakes. You don't know what you're doing as far as cooking. This is not for you. This is something that is, you should be doing something else. You're never going to be a good cook. You should go ahead and work at McDonald's and all this other stuff. And I just thought, man, go fuck yourselves. Okay? I may not know that much about cooking as you do, but I'm still willing to learn. But if you just want to be a complete asshole or a dickhead about it, then I see no reason to work for you anymore. And this one particular guy, sorry for spitting, but this one particular guy who was constantly giving me all this negative criticism. In a way, he had some good points about what I was doing and saying that I need to listen more and I need to refine my cooking skills. So I decided to go ahead and enroll in some online cooking classes in online cooking school and also gain some cookbooks so I could refer to that. But then towards the end, it just got way out of hand. Every single day, when I would go in and meet up with this particular individual, it was always, "You're not good enough. You're never going to be a cook. You shouldn't be doing this. You're never going to go ahead and amount to anything than just a line cook. You need to go ahead and work at McDonald's." And I just thought, I'm done. See, the thing is, guys, is that there's going to be times in your life in which when you want to do something and you want to dedicate yourself to it, there's going to be people who are going to doubt you. There's going to be people who are going to say, you can't do this, you cannot do that. But sometimes what you have to do is that you need to go ahead and mentally just tell these people to go fuck themselves. And that's why I told myself towards the end is when this was going on, I said to myself, are you really going to let this person determine what you can and cannot do in life? Are you really going to let them hold back on your dreams as far as being a cook? And maybe this, I even said this to this particular individual myself. Maybe cooking is not going to what I'm going to go into. Maybe it's going to be something else further down the line. But I'm still going to go ahead and give cooking the best shot that I can get. And if it doesn't work out, then I'll have to move on to something else. But I'm not done with it yet. I know I'm not done. And this particular individual who was always saying that I couldn't cook, he doesn't even like what he does. And the only reason why he cooks for a living, even though he's really good at it, and I've seen him how he does his work and he gets paid well, is that he can't do anything else. He has had a shitty past with the law, and he cannot do a lot of work because of his shady past. And I'm pretty sure one of the main reasons why he was going ahead and taking it out on me, as far as saying, you can't cook, you don't know what you're doing, is because he doesn't even like what he does. Because he's having some personal issues within his own life that he feels as though it's necessary in order for him to feel good about himself by being a total prick. And I just knew in the long run, I cannot work with someone who is a total prick. Okay? I don't care how good you are at what you do and what you have to offer. If you're a total prick, I don't want to work with you. So yesterday was my last day at this one particular job, and I decided that, you know what, if you want to bring in someone else to take over my position, which they were planning on doing, and then just have train them or you take up my schedule, then that's fine. I said, okay. They said, okay, that's fine. So I just left it at that. I did not say to their face, to this person's face, to go fuck himself. Because if I wanted to, and I could, I would have several times. But I just said, you know what, this is just not working. I am not ready to work somewhere like this. This is not working out between the both of us. So I'm just going to step down and do something else and work on my cooking skills. So the main thing, guys, is that you cannot just let other people determine what you can and cannot do in life. You got to be able to learn how to believe in yourself and understand that ultimately you determine where you go. It's not based on what other people do. Even if it's people who they might know more about what you want to do than you do. You still have to determine your destiny and your fate. And I'll admit that, you know what? I haven't given knowing how to cook my best of shots, but I'm willing to do that now, given this whole experience. And what I think was best for me now is that I go ahead and I work in one or two jobs in which I'm able to learn more of the basics of cooking and still do it on my off time. And then I just keep going ahead and improving upon what positions I apply for as far as jobs and work opportunities so that I can keep going along in this industry. And this guy also said, "You're 27 years old. You still don't know how to cook. It's too late for you to learn to cook." And I said, "Dude, some people learn about what they want to do later on in life. At least I'm not 40. At least I'm not 35. I found out that I wanted to cook for a living when I was 24 years old, but now I know I really need to step it up. But if I'm going to go ahead and work with people, I need to work with people who believe in me. I need to work with people who encourage me." See, I one of the main things I realize is that if you want to do something for a living, it's best that you learn from someone who has more experience than you. But you also want to work with someone who believes in you, who sees that you have potential in doing something. And I've had a lot of people say that I have great potential, but this particular person says that I don't have it because on the inside I can tell they're not happy, they're miserable. This particular individual says that he hates cooking, but he's good at it. So I'm thinking, well, that's probably one of the main reasons why you're taking it out on me, saying that I cannot cook because you don't like it yourself. And that's just too bad. And it's just you don't want to work with people who are assholes. You don't want to work with people who are pricks. Okay? It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter what you can learn from them. If the character of a person that you are working for or people you're working for is very flawed, you're better off not working for them because it's going to kill your spirit, because it's going to corrupt your soul. It's only going to cause you more harm than good in the long run. So that's why I realized working at this particular place. If everybody else, including this person, believed in me and was more encouraging, I would have stayed. And everybody else appreciated who I was. I went ahead and I'm learning how to cook, and I go above and beyond relaying to my clients. I will go and talk with these older individuals who are at the senior living, learn their life stories, and relate to them on a personal level. These other guys don't do that. They just cook. They cook good food, but they don't relate to their clients. They're just basically there to go ahead and get paid. That's all it is. It's all about the money. Money is a good thing, but it's how you also relate to people on a human basis. That's one other thing that I value too. And obviously, these particular guys, they don't care to do that. So if that's how they are, then so be it. And if they think that I can't cook and I'll never be able to cook, then I don't need to hang out. I don't need to be with you guys and work for you guys in the long run, anyways. So, bye bye. And the last thing that I remember this particular individual saying is, "James, go work at McDonald's." And I said, "Well, I'm going to do better than that. I don't care what you say. I'm going to do better than that. Goodbye." So, if you're working with people or if you have someone in your life who's an asshole, then you need to set up boundaries with them and say, "I'm not going to let you determine who I can and cannot be. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut you off if you're always trying to let me down. If you're always saying I'm not good enough or I'll never be good enough." Sometimes, you need to tell people, "Fuck you. get out of my face. But if it's someone at work in particular, especially your boss, the best thing you can do is say, you know what, this is not working. We're not getting along. It's time for me to go ahead and do something else. And that's the most dignified approach in the situation. But if it's really bad, then okay, tell them to go fuck themselves. But that only works mainly if you have someone like a friend of yours or someone you're in a relationship with and it's really bad. But other than that, if it's at work, then you need to do it more of a dignified manner. Luckily, I was able to go ahead and say, you know what, this is not working. I'm going to step down and do something else. And you can have someone immediately take over my hours and my shift. If you want to do that, that's fine. So after yesterday, it was a big relief. I'm going to have to go ahead and find another job and find another way to make an income. But I know I'll be able to figure something out because I was able to go ahead and start years ago from not being able to work anywhere in the culinary industry to when I was working at this particular place. Excuse me, I'm a little tired. When I was working in this particular place, this independent senior living, I was getting calls from other places for work that I've applied for, but I turned it down in order to work for this place. But now I have to go ahead and consider those other options. So it is what it is. So guys, when you do something, do it to the best of your ability. And if it's not working, then you need to do something else. Okay? That doesn't mean you should give up completely on your goals and dreams. It's just you need to go ahead and work somewhere or work around people who believe in you. Work around people who encourage you. Work around people that help to build you up rather than put you down. And they're constantly putting you down, then you don't need to work with those people. Okay? Those are just my encouraging words if you put yourself in this sort of situation. Understand that a lot of times it's not necessarily you, it's the individual that you're working for because they're miserable in their own lives. They have their own problems and they want to go ahead and subliminally take it out on you by saying you're not good enough and all these other things. Well, just go ahead and let them quit and let them stew in their own shit. That's what I think. That's what I say. So, hopefully this helps out for some of you people that are going through a similar situation. If you have any other stories that you would like to share, you can always just comment about it. And of course, like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel if you appreciate what I have to say. And keep pushing. Keep moving forward. That's what I can say. Don't just quit because you have people that doubt what you want to do. Okay? You're always going to have doubters. But the main person that you don't want to doubt is yourself. Have doubt for you is yourself. Okay? You got to learn to believe in yourself. You got to know what your capabilities are. I know I'm capable of cooking, but it's just I need to train myself more, which I'm willing to do. It might take some time, but I'm willing to take the time. So take this as a personal lesson for all of you. All right? Keep pushing. Don't let doubters determine your fate, and don't let haters determine your fate. You determine your own fate. Good night, everybody. I'm going to be going back to sleep. Just so I didn't get this off of my mind. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.